are reports of many dead and injured as troops battled anti-Shah demonstrators again today in Iran. Federal marshals impound city-owned vehicles as Cleveland heads for default.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight. With Max Robinson in Chicago, Tom Gerald substituting for vacationing Frank Reynolds, Barbara Walters, who is on assignment, and from Israel, Peter Jennings.
Good evening. Here in the Middle East tonight, the Israelis are sad, hopeful, and apprehensive. They are sad because they buried their late Prime Minister Golda Meir today. They are hopeful about a peace with Egypt, but they are very apprehensive about events in Iran. Iran supplies much of Israel's oil, and events there today are no better than they have been for many weeks. There are reports of new violence in the southern city of Isfahan. The Associated Press reports that 40 anti-Shah demonstrators have been killed by the army, perhaps 600 wounded, and hospitals crowded. On the other hand, in cities like Mashhad, there are reports today of pro-Shah demonstrations. No one is quite sure who is organizing them. But as Bill Blakemore reports from the capital of Tehran tonight, it is very clear who is organizing the calm.
Almost as if nothing had happened, the capital was peaceful today. Traffic normal. The only visible remnant of the 2 days' extraordinary marches, the anti-Shah, anti-foreign, pro-Muslim graffiti along the demonstration route, and even some of that beginning to disappear. Government martial law forces, after 2 days away so as not to clash with demonstrators, moved back into the city center, but not quite in the daunting armored strength with which they had controlled major intersections before, as if the memory of the marches were like an invisible force that now could not be challenged. The force of those marches now echoes here. Any political solution in Iran will have to recognize it, the demonstrated will of these sheer numbers of people to follow Iran's Muslim leadership. The long-building opposition to the Shah discovering its voice in the chants led by the Ayatollah's assistants, reminding the people that they now have a weapon with which to bring down the Shah's regime more powerful than arms would be in the strikes now crippling Iran's vital oil industry and other government agencies.
Today, the power of the religious leaders is witnessed in the very absence of demonstrations or confrontation or violence of any kind. Their call for a quiet day in Tehran obeyed. It seems as if a massive opposition has found a new self-assurance and now knows that it cannot be ignored. In addition to signs and slogans, the massed marchers also carried an implied threat that their newly unified desires might not always be for peaceful demonstration. Bill Blakemore, ABC News, Tehran.
This is Sam Donaldson at the White House, where only last Thursday President Carter said he didn't know whether the Shah could survive. But today at his news conference, Mr. Carter, in a change of mind, or at least of tactics, said now he does know.
I fully expect the Shah to maintain power in Iran and for the present problems in Iran to be resolved. I think the predictions of doom and disaster that came from some sources have certainly not been realized at all. The Shah has our support, and he also has our confidence.
But if the president has changed his tune somewhat on the Shah's chances, he has not changed his mind since Thursday on the need for Israel and Egypt to reach a peace agreement by their own deadline of December 7th.